sa, noi del sud parliamo a voce alta, si sa, noi del sud facciamo discussione imposta, siamo allergici alle...
Ciao, I'm Carla Mastropiero, the Executive Director of the Italian Education and Culture Center at Casa Colombo, and today we are going to take you on a tour of Jersey City Historic Italian Village. Accompanying me on this tour will be Francesca Dell'Acqua, the current administrative assistant, who as a very young Italian American represents new generation in charge of keeping alive the Italian heritage. The objective of the tour is to get you acquainted with most of the sites of the original Italian village. You will see that some of the sites remain the same, while others have been totally converted into new business. We'll start our journey here at Casa Colombo. Built in 1936, it was the center of the Italian village and has been a key landmark in the history of Italian immigration in New Jersey, precisely because it was a venue for keeping alive the Italian heritage and at the same time to helping immigrants assimilated into the American mainstream. The building currently is the headquarters of the Italian Education and Culture Center, an institution that has proved over and over its ability to move forward with the various changes of the area, particularly in the field of the arts, becoming also a center for the arts. However, IECC is and will always be committed to preserve, celebrate, and perpetuate the Italian heritage, and for this, IECC has created in Casa Colombo a gallery dedicated to the Italian immigration and Italian heritage.
Noi del sud abbiamo corta la memoria, nel giorno della festa ricerchiamo tra la folla quel sorriso che brillava ad ogni giro della giostra.
From Casa Colombo, we bear left into First Street, where at the corner with the Brunswick Street was once located the Bender Meat Market, the oldest business on our tour, dating back to 1864, when it was known as Bender's Pork Store. It is now the site of super modernized private residence, which has been used for television and film production. Turn right into Brunswick Street, and our next stop is 113 Brunswick Street, the site of the renowned DeFeo's Bakery, and more recently, the Anthony Cucci Civic Club. At the present, we don't see any sign of the bakery on the exterior, but the interior has left intact the marble counter and mirror used by the DeFeo's Bakery.
From what I have heard from my family about the history of this business is that my great-grandfather who started the business, he came to New York and New Jersey from Italy in 1906. They moved to Jersey City, and the first store that they opened was actually on First Street, was at 364 First Street. And then the family moved from First Street here to 113 Brunswick Street. and they moved here in probably 1926, and they all lived upstairs. So it was my great-grandparents, my grandfather, and he had 7 sisters. So there were 10 people, 10 DeFeos living here, and they opened up the pastry shop in 1926. And so when I was growing up, my grandfather loved to make strawberry shortcake for all of his grandkids, and he also made us Italian ice, and it was this famous recipe from the pastry shop. And the pastry shop was also very well known for its chocolate Easter bunnies. So from what I have heard, and I've seen photographs, that the display here on Brunswick Street around Easter time was full of chocolate Easter bunnies.
Another neighborhood mainstay is the 2nd Street Bakery on 2nd Street. This business has remained in continuous operation since the early 1900s, and always with the same family, the Siniscalchi, a clear indication of the commitment of this family to the preservation of the culinary heritage in the area. Gino Siniscalchi is the current owner.
This retail establishment's been in my family for over 3 generations, and we serve the local community, and we were bread bakers. Well, I always tell people to try the bread. I figure the sandwiches they love, they feel they're terrific, but I figure you could get a sandwich anywhere. This is a product that we do exclusively, I think, better than anybody else. Our bread products, our stuffed rolls, our pepperoni breads. And I'm very simple, like a couple of slices of salami, some mozzarella, some olive oil, and I'm happy. It keeps me, going for the day. But yeah, I'm a simple eater.
You use it by your
Since
family?
1927, we use the same
Great.
coal-fired brick oven.
Our next stop is the Public School 5, Dr. Michael Conti School. Public School 5 was constructed in 1915 following the designs prepared by the architect for the Jersey City Board of Education, John Rowland. This 4-story brick and stone building is a good example of the school buildings built elsewhere in Jersey City in the late classical revival style. Several decades ago, the city renamed PS5 the Dr. Michael Conti School to honor the family physician who served the community from his First Street office for many years. It's worth remembering that Dr. Michael Conti was also one of the founders of Casa Colombo.
This stop on Newark Avenue is another building that illustrates the demographic evolution of the Italian Village neighborhood. White Eagle Hall opened in 1910, constructed by Polish immigrants and craftsmen. The building gets its name from the coat of arms of Poland, the White Eagle. St. Anthony of Padua, Roman Catholic Church, took ownership of White Eagle Hall in 1934 and put the building to use as a bingo hall and practice gym for basketball. Today, it is a fully functioning music venue and event space owned by Ben Piccolo and Olga Levina, director of the Jersey City Theater Center.
When we were looking for space for Jersey City Theater Center, and we discovered White Eagle Hall, We came, we loved it. We loved the venue. When financial crash happened in 2009, Ben is my husband, Ben Lopiccolo, went back to St. Anthony's, and we asked them if White Eagle Hall is still under contract, and they said, well, the developer backed out. When I came and I saw it was a lot of dark, the space was basically boarded. It was a lot of dark boards and everything on the second floor. It was little rooms. And we kind of put our talents together because I love the arts, I love theater. I believe that art and theater gives us sense of purpose and also help us to find our space in society. So for me, that was important. For Ben, the architecture, the history, and of course, community. So the most beautiful thing is that venue brought people together. Because for St. Anthony's it was a hall where they did weddings and concerts, and for us it's a venue for the even broader Jersey City community, because our mission is to bring theater and arts to wider community, to diverse community. But of course, the history of bringing people together and uniting under one roof is what we absolutely love, and this is why we're doing what we're doing.
On Site 5, we find Pecoraro Bakery, now Pecoraro Antique Bakery on Newark Avenue. Pecoraro's is the oldest brick oven in continuous operation in Jersey City. In the 1970s, on a Saturday morning in the bakery, customers would see 3 generations of Pecoraros, 14 in all, at work around the brick oven. The current owner, Ivan Rodriguez, purchased the bakery in 2015, adding the name Antique Bakery from the Antique Bakery of Hoboken.
On 7th Street and Brunswick Street, on Carmine Conti corner, you'll find this shrine known as Madonna del Grotto, which was built in 1952 by Italian immigrants in memory of all the deceased veterans of the Holy Rosary Catholic Church. On 6th Street, the first church on our tour is the Holy Rosary Roman Catholic Church and Parish House. Holy Rosary, New Jersey, first Italian Catholic parish, established in 1885, erected its building in 1903. Holy Rosary and Casa Colombo have enjoyed an intertwined history. By the 1970s, the Casa Colombo building had evolved into disuse. In 1973, Holy Rosary Parish purchased Casa Colombo for $1, renovated the building, and used the building for various parish activities. In 1992, the Italian Education and Culture Center purchased Casa Colombo from Holy Rosary. Just down the street from Holy Rosary on Monmouth Street is St. Anthony of Padua Roman Catholic Church. St. Anthony of Padua Roman Catholic Church, the oldest Polish Catholic parish in New Jersey, was built in 1892 to serve the expanding Polish population of Jersey City. Prior to its construction, Polish Catholics took the ferry across the Hudson River to worship in New York City. Directly across from St. Anthony is our next stop, the 6th Street Embankment. Maureen Crowley, coordinator of the Embankment Coalition Preservation, will tell you more. Also worth noting, Maureen was the curator of the first exhibit of the Italian village at Casa Colombo.
Hello, I'm Maureen Crowley. I'm coordinator of the Embankment Preservation Coalition, which has worked to preserve the structure that we see here. We're standing at the Horseman's Branch Embankment on 6th Street. The embankment was built around 1900 by the Pennsylvania Railroad, by then the largest company in the world, to replace an earlier elevated structure. For more than a century, the Horseman's Branch carried freight over downtown streets to the Hudson River and contributed to the growth of New York Harbor. People still living here recall collecting pigeon eggs from the bridges crossing the streets and coal that fell from freight cars to stoke their furnaces. There are stories of cattle intended for the slaughterhouse at the Horseman's Yards on the waterfront, instead making their escape into city streets. The Pennsylvania Railroad shaped Jersey City neighborhoods, including Hamilton Park, where we're standing now, and Horseman's Cove on the other side of this structure. To the west, the Italian village thrived in niches created by the Pennsylvania passenger line and this freight branch. Much of that rail infrastructure is gone, but the embankment still stands because 2 decades ago, the Embankment Coalition was formed to preserve the transportation corridor for open space and as part of a walking and biking trail from Maine to Florida. We documented its history, and the embankment is now a state and local landmark and eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. The coalition also worked for recognition of other historic resources along the branch. In 2017, the New Jersey State Historic Preservation Office issued opinions that the Italian Village is eligible for the state and national registers, and that Holy Rosary, the first Italian parish in New Jersey, and St. Anthony's, the first Polish parish, make up the Immigrant Roman Catholic Church Historic District. These 2 sanctuaries have existed on the same block for a century and a half. They're located across from this rail line that for much of their history bustled with freight trains. We hope with the forest that's sprung up on top and with walking paths and bridges added, that the embankment will soon become a green haven for their parishioners and the wider public.
Our last stop on our tour is the Barge Inn Casino restaurant. The Barge Inn restaurant, which dates from 1969, it was established by John Marto, but it was taken over by his daughter Linda, who with her husband Peter Paldino, main chef, kept the place running continuously with the same Italian-American atmosphere. On the walls inside are murals depicting scenes from Italy, painted by Anne Cucci Polaro, sister to former Jersey City Mayor Anthony Cucci. Now it is one of the few remaining original Italian-American restaurants in the area.
As you can see, the original buildings, particularly those that were a big part of the Italian village, are coming down and new ones are replacing them. With this video, we are committed to preserving the history of the Italian village, now more than ever. By supporting Casa Colombo, you'll help us continue our mission of keeping alive and sharing the Italian culture, heritage, and traditions that were prevalent in this area.
Siamo tesserati al club delle comari. Se prende spazio l'indifferenza, resta il silenzio di un condominio anonimo. Porta pazienza al perbenismo, io preferisco il rumore della verità. Si sa, noi del sud siamo sognatori inermi, si sa, noi del sud giriamo il mondo a remi fermi, testimoni del principio elementare, che il riposo alla controra è sacro pure alle campane. Si sa, noi del sud facciamo a pugni con la storia, si sa, noi del sud abbiamo...
Hello, I'm Louis Iozzi, President of the Italian Education and Cultural Center at Casa Colombo and Chairman of the Board of Directors. You have just completed a tour of the Italian village of Jersey City and have seen and heard some of what this historic area used to be and what it is today. We are now back at where the tour started, Casa Colombo, Jersey City's hidden gem. The Italian village, just like Jersey City itself, continues to change and evolve. What used to be is no longer, and what now exists will certainly change as we move into the future. Here at Casa Colombo, we are committed to preserving our great Italian heritage. The third floor of this building, where I now stand, is dedicated to exhibiting many of the artifacts, exhibits, and photographs of the people, places, and events that were part of the Italian village. I invite you to visit Casa Colombo to see and to learn more about what this important role that this area has played in the history of Jersey City. Please log on to our website for our visiting hours or to make an appointment for a personal tour of our exhibits. Our website is www.casacolombo.org. Also visit this website to learn about the many programs and art exhibits that we offer throughout the year. I truly hope that you have enjoyed this virtual tour of the Italian village of Jersey City, and I look forward to seeing you in person here at Casa Colombo.
Si sa, noi del sud parliamo a voce alta, si sa, noi del sud facciamo discussione imposta. Siamo allergici alle strisce, di restare in fila non ci riesce neanche ai funerali. Si sa, noi del sud leggiamo libri a stento, si sa, noi del sud collezioniamo caffè a scrocco. Imbattibili nel lancio di parole dai balconi, siamo tesserati al club delle comari. Se prende spazio l'indifferenza, resta il silenzio di un condominio anonimo. Porta pazienza al perbenismo, io preferisco il rumore della verità. Si sa, noi del sud siamo sognatori inermi, si sa, noi del sud giriamo il mondo a remi fermi, testimoni del principio elementare, che il riposo alla controra è sacro pure alle campane. Si sa, noi del sud facciamo a pugni con la storia. Si sa, noi del sud abbiamo corta la memoria. Nel giorno della festa ricerchiamo tra la folla quel sorriso che brillava ad ogni giro della giostra. Se togli spazio alla tenerezza, resta il silenzio di un condominio.